I wanted to show you guys the way that I finish this, and I just use a big tea strainer in a colander. What is that called?
Colander.
A funnel. And I take my tea thing. I'm not boiling it down as much as usual because I just really don't need that much, and it's better off to go to the animals. So this time I got 1.5 gallons. Usually I would have got a whole lot more because I would have cooked it slower on the wood stove, but we just needed to do it now. Hey guys, so I am making winter treats for my cats and my chickens and my ducks and anything else that wants to eat it. Now normally what I would do is I would take my finished product, which you see there in the jar, and I would put it in the muffin tins, and then I would freeze it, and then once it was frozen I would rest the pan in some hot water for half a second so it would loosen up the little discs. And then I would pop them out and put them in a Ziploc bag and use those for my frying, so that I could put them in it rather than having to have a whole jar out. I just have one of these little discs out in a dish to use for my cooking oil. However, that was back when I was not as confident in my cooking fat and in my lard. Since then I've had 2 years where I've cooked with lard that has been just sitting on a shelf down in my storage room, and it has kept so well I don't even bother to freeze it anymore. However, this that you see here, as you can see, has a lot of unrendered fat and meat chunks in it. And if I pop one of these every day into my chicken feed, it's like suet, and it's like suet, like what you buy for wild birds so that they have enough fat in the winter. So these will be little treat pockets, and I'll do the same. Let me wipe my hands real quick. I'll do the same with these as I did with the ones that we used for cooking. I'll freeze them, and then once they're frozen I'll just rinse the bottom off, or stick the bottom in a pan that has hot water in it, and then pop them out and put them all together in a big Ziploc. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. They look like they would be delicious treats, but they're just lard with little bits of meat. And I poke one side. I don't know if I'll be able to get this one up because I overfilled it. Poke the other side, and then it pops out. So once a day in the middle of really cold winter, I will give these to the chickens, and it will help them lay and stay a little bit healthier. So I wanted to show you, this is chitlin. This is the meat. All that you see in there would boil down a lot more and be crunchy, and that's what this is. I just got it out of the freezer, so that's why it looks kind of foggy. It looks a little bit like hamburger, and you can use it as flavoring. Again, it's very fatty, very crunchy. We just store it in the freezer. In the future, what I would do is I would once again put it into my individual muffin tins so that it's easier to pop it out for individual cooking. I love muffin tins. They make it so easy for things like freezing yogurt that you're going to use as a start later, or using it for lard or tallow. We don't like to use, yes, also for muffins, ironically enough.
Or cupcakes.
This is lard. I much prefer to cook with lard than with tallow. Tallow is from beef fat, and I don't like beef fat. It makes everything taste like hamburger. However, our favorite fat is from ducks. Our duck fat, we keep it in the fridge after we cook a duck. We'll just pour the fat off. It's already rendered, and we get about 1 cup of fat per duck, and it lasts us a really long time. The only time I use lard is if I'm deep fat frying. Everything else we use duck fat.